Oh hey everybody, it's your good old pal EmptyHero, and today, because I don't think I can get away with procrastinating any longer, we're going to discuss the watershed game that put full motion video on the map, Phantasmagoria. This existential foray into the decaying mind of some pollywog-stomached slut who watched The Shining one too many times and thought, hey, I'd like to bastardize that, begins with two poorly trained community theater actors moving into a sprawling mansion festooned with interactive paintings of sluts that copy our protagonist Adrian's every move. This striking visual metaphor for all the times Adrian's actress had to give head through a hole in a wall in order to land this role, and perhaps most Eldritchian of all, this ghostly massage bed with so much empathy for the protagonist's husband Don that it rubs Adrian's own dank pussy stank under her nose in a desperate plea to get her to stop douching with cat vomit. The interior of this inhospitable inhabitants of Ichor contains so many rooms that the new owners haven't seen half of them, let alone found the time to give each other those integral spackle bucket blumpkins in each of those rooms necessary to keep the flames of their young passions stoked. The acres of land, both picturesque and grotesque, sustain an entire ecosystem of retarded dwarves who could move out and buy their own home if they could simply stop eating all those pennies they earn from giving hoe blows while holding their ankles and pretending not to hear the rhythmic slaps that sound behind them like the echoing laughter of some demonic beast. And the secret basement obscures more sacrificial corpses than I'd like to make a self-reflexive joke about, just in case a member of law enforcement is listening. I don't care what those dogs smelled, y'all fuckers can't dig without a warrant. The sandbox in particular is for my own personal use, so just ignore all those tear-stained trucks and dollies. All flatter than Jewish bread asked didn't have a bra, so she hiked up her mom jeans to better prop up her only redeeming qualities. Having protagonist Adrian Delaney, whose name is fittingly enough an anagram for needy anal denier, possesses the amazing ability to sit on every chair in the game so the director could sniff the cushions later, has authored the world-renowned novella Blue Moon Rising, which begins with that wonderful turn of phrase, "The night was as moist as my pussy was dry," and takes bigger shits than Richard Gere after a closed-curtain chili cook-off at a Canadian gerbil sanctuary. Her husband, Don Gordon, professional photographer and amateur Steven Seagal impersonator extraordinaire, whose name is fittingly an anagram for the phrase dong donor, on the other hand, is the sort of blithering idiot who finds a way to cut open his hand on the rounded back of a screwdriver, yet has enough sense to quip to his wife that, "At least something in this house bleeds, you barren slut. Look at that. A junkie. I got a fucking junkie for a wife. She don't eat nothing, sleeps all day in that cum-stained orange creamsicle colored sweater, wakes up with a picnic. Why not a Pick Bob or a Pick Dave? And who won't fuck me? 'Cause she doesn't want demon semen cream in her vagine in. Her womb is so polluted, I can't even have a non-Japanese genital pixelated ghost baby that she jams her hand into the same way one of her fat-fingered feminist friends from Florida did to terminate the original live baby with her." Together, these star-crossed lovers encounter the type of metaphysical marital mediation that will tear the relationships and O-rings apart, and also potentially lead to a couple of cease and desist letters from Stephen King's lawyer if he isn't already too busy trying to convince Child Protective Services that the elaborate interracial child orgy scene from the end of It wasn't just written for shock value and that the mysterious shrimp-scented stains found on the pages of the original manuscript were simply especially salty tears Stephen cried due to just how shocked he was at the time. The troubles begin when our protagonist stumbles upon a hereto otherwise unknown religious chamber while using an Anubis-themed letter opener to carve a glory hole for fat polygonal Minecraft cocks in an ironic attempt to enable herself to secretly burn coal in a wood-burning chimney. This altar and the labyrinth that ensnares it raise further questions, such as, why was the penis pump in the solarium when the bathroom mirror makes it so much easier to see Uranus? Was Adriana unable to use a coat hanger to poke the key out of this keyhole because it was already lodged in that baby she buried in the yard like a dog? And perhaps, most puzzling of all, why was the letter opener Anubis? What's wrong with the old bits we had? Adrian, however, freshly empowered to act like a troglodyte from performing the Cask of Amontillado in reverse, ignores all of these foreboding signs and releases the most dangerous vapor from a box. Since that time, she let 50 Mexican men fart in her womb on Taco Tuesday in order to gas an unwanted beige fetus to death, then accidentally let Don rest his head on her stomach and ruin the carpet of their old home, which caused them to move into the Carno Estate in the first place. And this phosphorescent phantom flies off in search of a man to possess, since even it can tell that, due to fumigating her fallopian fjords, Adrian is barren and can't sustain a life. This pugnacious poltergeist pounds Don's prefrontal lobe, producing the sort of John McCain-esque tumor that turns him into a sort of manic maverick who demands his wife procure for him drain cleaner when a literal drain cleaner is standing directly in front of him with tits the size of microwaves. This corrupting carbuncle on his crown reminds Don that Adrian did not take his last name, despite the fact that he'd eat her pussy after 50 Mexicans blasted second-hand chalupas into it, which was ironic in a Lovecraftian sort of way, since it took 50 dry wall installers to make her pussy wet, and Donnie deteriorates from simply flicking a lit cigarette at Adrian's pussy to full-on all work and no brutal rape in the bathroom that I can't even show in this review without getting an erection makes Donnie a dull boy mode, which is subtly ironic since Adrian allows bums in her garage. Don should be allowed to bum her in the bathroom in exchange. As Don's mental condition deteriorates, Adrian turns to her newfound friends, the feces-encrusted products of generations of currently continuing incest who occasionally get stuck while busting shit up in search of copper wire to steal for solace. Cyrus is as strong as an ox, but not nearly as smart as one, enjoys murdering cats in his free time due to overhearing and misunderstanding that his many mental disabilities originated in the pussy, along with his mother/sister and aunt, Harriet, whom is eventually entrusted with the task of cleaning everything in the mansion other than her own pussy, represent the last glimmer of joy in Adriana's life after Don locked himself in his room with a Game Boy and told her to take her gross boobs and go smell like black men's kisses someplace else. After winching Harriet out of the last thing a dick sees while passing through a glory hole by connecting a rope to the solid line of shit baked into her granny panties, Adrian does her best to pretend to not hear Harriet threaten to harm Cyrus more than she already did by drinking Jacob while he was in her womb, then allows Harriet to read her palm with her retard cum-slathered fingers, and casually exits the room as they prepare for dinner by repeatedly stabbing rabbits, despite the fact that they're planning to go out for Chinese. Further inquiry reveals the sordid past of the Carno Estate and the various exorcides that occurred therein. Adrian, being the worthless slut that I am, finds tangible evidence of these crimes and leaves the corpse to rot in her greenhouse instead of contacting the police so they can finally solve the cold case because she's far too busy trying to figure out why the ghost of Gaston mistook the ghost of Karnav's chest for the mound at Iwo Jima, and also how to remove the money pack virus from her laptop so that she can finally go back to her day job of selling digital photographs of her butthole to Jews. Well, following an ectoplasm orgasm that is strangely more coherent than Cyrus, and a tarot card reading from a bum whose love of live-action role-playing as a gypsy instead of paying attention in high school is why she sleeps in an alley behind the Fuddruckers in the first place, well, that and huffing her retarded son's fermented drool, Adrian realizes the direness of her situation. I mean, That salacious saliva is why Harriet conceived Cyrus. Ingesting a mongoloid's magnificently slovenly slobber makes you trip balls by killing extraneous brain cells. The Dora the Explorer-haired soilers of bloodlines and adult size underoos alike swallow so much of this psychedelic spittle due to their fat tongues that the cycle perpetuates endlessly. Disgusted by this revelation, Don drops his ponytail while ironically becoming a horse's ass and threatens our transient tards with a terrible termination, and the last time you'll see them alive is as they hurriedly bag up their collections of strangled rabbits and cat turds. At this point, the game literally tells Adrian to use her wits to win, to which he replies, "No problem, I always use those to get my way." Oh wait, my wits? Well then I'm fucked. In her inescapable horror, Adrian recoils in fear from her once beloved husband, as he reveals that not only is his favorite shampoo Head and Shoulders, but that he believes the woman's body is a wonderful thing, but the head is useless. Apparently Donny Boy has never played Resident Evil 4 then researched Fifiniku, the fine art of ear canal love making. Welp, after straight up killing her husband, the demonic fart that infested his soul rises up in an attempt to make Adrian look like Stewie Griffin, then dies because she passively aggressively mumbled some words at it, like a woman who just realized you crap dusted her in line at the free clinic. That's it for today's video. If you liked it, you can roll over in bed and tell your fat stanky mama about it. Use the links provided in the description of this video to join my Discord so you can receive alerts for when I live stream. Toss a buck at me on Patreon for the right to vote on what my next video will be about. Check out one of my original ebooks, paperbacks, or audiobooks, or you can order a pizza with extra sauce and garlic bread, but not the 2-liter Coke, because I prefer Pepsi and already have a couple of cans in the basement fridge.